الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Today is very informative and very important, and I expect maybe by today and tomorrow we finish Tahawyah. And I have to tell you what I hope, inshallah, my wish, after permission from our dear brethren, Jazakumullahu khairan, my wish is that I start tafsir assemblies every week, at least a day of a week, but very informative, very focusing, very beneficial, inshallah. I hope, Ya Rab, that this will be, if I do that, this will be something of my credit card at the Day of Judgment. You know the credit card. Allahu Musta'an. This is the best honorable kind of work ever for the whole life. That you give tafsir to the Book of Allah. طيب وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. One quick word about ta'wil. You know the meaning of ta'wil? Ta'wil means interpretation. But people today misuse the word ta'wil. They say, oh, you make ta'wil on this one, but you don't make ta'wil on this one. They don't understand the word ta'wil. Ta'wil means to interpret. And the whole Quran should be interpreted. But in fact, what they mean by this is the methodology. See, some people of bid'ah, they use Islamic wording and they agree on different meaning than the Islamic meaning. Did you get my point? Like the philosophers, for example, they bring the word angels. You know what they mean by the angels? Stars. They call the stars angels. Like the Batinis. There's an ayah, for example, it says, Allah orders you to slaughter that Musa said to the people of Jews, to slaughter a cow. They say, yeah, apparently cow, but there is ta'wil for that. There is an internal batin ta'wil for this. What is it? Allah meant by that Aisha, to slaughter Aisha. So, yes, ta'wil means interpretation, but there is true interpretation and there is false interpretation. Yes. Now, so when we use the term ta'wil, or when we make ta'wil, we make it by knowledge. But all of the ta'wil that those people of Ahlul Kalam, Asha'ira, Mu'tazila, they give is based on conjecture, thinking. It's not possibility. They can't say we're sure. This is what Ibn Hajar, the interpreter of Bukhari, said in his book Fath al-Bari, volume 13, page 353. He said, وليس من سلك طريق الخلف واثقا بأن الذي يتأوله هو المراد. The one who selects the way of the Khalaf, that means not the way of the Salaf, yani those who came after, which differ than the way of the Salaf in their ta'wil, which is, in a matter of fact, tahrif. Tahrif, you know what I mean? There's distinction between ta'wil and tahrif. Ta'wil means to illustrate, to interpret. Tahrif, to manipulate. Such as. They say, Yadullah, the hand of Allah, means His power. One of them, I said to everybody, it's a joke. I said, whenever you have a question, you should raise your hand. So one of them raised his hand. I said to him, I didn't say raise your power. I said raise your hand. So, he understood what I meant. So when he raised again his hand, I said, you're raising your power. And your power may be in your foot, not only in your hand. Put it down. Just wanted to give him a lesson. Because this is how they manipulate something and they say, oh, we are interpreting, we're making ta'wil. This is not ta'wil, this is tahrif. This is the way of the Jews. So look what Ibn Hajar said, it's very important. He said, those who select the way of the Khalaf, they cannot be certain of what they make as their own ta'wil. And they cannot say that our ta'wil is really authentic and true. They can't. Because it's possibility. It is only suggestions. But the ta'wil of the Salaf, like Ibn Abbas, no one can say, oh, he was giving possible kind of ta'wil. No. The Salaf did not speak about Allah and His Quran with possibilities. They speak with knowledge. So knowledge of ta'wil is something, and the ta'wil of those Ash'aris and Mu'tazila is something else. And by the way, we don't call it ta'wil. They want to call it ta'wil, it's for them. But for us, it's tahrif. When they say that the hand of Allah means power. When they say Allah comes, that means His issue, His order comes. When the Prophet says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes down to the lowest heaven at the last third part of the night, they say His mercy goes down, not Him. Wait a minute. So the mercy of Allah does not come down on earth except the last third part of the night? Is that what you're telling me? Only the mercy of Allah is limited only to the last third part of the night? See, there are always bad consequences and results for their what? Assertion, which they call it interpretation. It's not interpretation, it's assertion. It's twisting, manipulating. For example, also, when they say Allah is in the heaven, they say, yes, He is in the height by His value. So not by His existence, not by His person, He's up. No, by His value. Oh, so when Allah said to Isa, I'm going to take you up, save you from those Jews who conspired against Him. I'm going to accomplish you in life here, and I'm going to take you up to me. Up to me. Up to me, that means Jesus, Isa. He's going to be having now, he's having now the same value of Allah. He's equal with Allah in value. When Allah said to him, I'm going to take you up to me. Every kind of twisting which they call interpretation, it has nothing to do with the interpretation of the Salaf. They're twisting. So that's why Ibn Hajar said a beautiful word. He said, those who use this kind of Ash'ari ta'wil, Mu'tazili ta'wil, they cannot make sure, they cannot give us a certitude that yes, what we gave as ta'wil is meant by Allah. They cannot say that this is meant by Allah. Wallahi, my dear brothers, I don't want to take you longer. But there was a denier of Allah's highness over the throne, which we believed because Allah told us to believe. It's not something we suggest by ourselves. Woe unto them, wallahi. If Allah did not say that, we would have never been saying that. We said it after Allah said it. We made mubahala, me and him. He is a body from Oman. You can see, you can check on the internet, mubahala, and between Ibadi, Dimashqiyah and Ibadi. We made mubahala. He said, oh Allah, I make you witness that you're not over your throne, and you are not in as-sama. And if I'm wrong, perish me. And I made my own mubahala that I believe the opposite, and if I'm wrong, perish me and my children. From that day, he disappeared. Until now, no one knows where he is. Maybe his own people are hiding him. Maybe he changed his mind and they don't want him to declare this. It's going to be a big problem for that, etc. Almost every day we keep asking them, where's your fellow? And he's a big sheikh. He disappeared. No one knows about him anything. So I like that word which Ibn Hajar mentioned. Be careful about the camera, huh? هلا صارت أعلى. The Ash'aris, they say, you should not make ta'wil on the matter of the grave. Allah said, the Prophet said that the person in the grave, he is punished. There is a punishment and rewarding in the grave. Okay? The Mu'tazila said, yes, he's punished, but it's just like nightmares. He's punished by dreams. He sees dreams in the grave which disturb him. It's only this is the only disturbances. So there's no real punishment. The Ash'ari says, you should not make ta'wil on that. That's not good. The Prophet said, he'll be punished, that means he's going to be punished. Then the Mu'tazila, who are worse in misguidance than the Ash'aris, we admit, they say to them, our belief in the grave is similar to your belief about Allah's attributes, that they should make ta'wil on them. What we say about the grave is just like what you say about Allah's hand, that it's power. You give ta'wil on that, you have to allow us to give ta'wil on the grave. How can they give an answer to this? They can't give an answer. No answer is given. هنالك ذكرنا بالتسجيل الله يهديك. So you can see the people of Bid'ah, they are contradicting themselves. In something, no, you should not make ta'wil. Another thing, no, you must make ta'wil. And the contradiction is between themselves. They are divided into two groups. One group, they say, we must make ta'wil, is wajib, like Al-Razi. Al-Bayhaqi, he disagreed with him, saying to him, no, it is haram to make ta'wil. The best thing is to make tafweed. Tafweed, yani we don't know the meaning of Allah's attributes. We don't know. They're going in great contradiction. Ahl Sunnah, they say, alhamdulillah, we speak nothing about Allah without knowledge. And we affirm the attributes that Allah affirmed for Himself. And affirming the sifat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed those sifat so we can know. He's praising Himself by these attributes. He's praising Himself. Why do you have to have a problem with it and you try to twist it? Isn't it a praising? When Allah said that He is in as-sama, isn't this praising? So why do you have a problem with it? لو تشد هذا بس أيوة جزاكم الله أيوة أحسنت. That's why Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he said a beautiful word. He said, the say in some of the attributes should be the same say about other attributes. All of them should be under one rule. No two different contradictory rules. Because the Ash'aris say there are 7 attributes, you should never make ta'wil for them. Haram. But as for the others, it's okay. This is contradiction. So Ibn Taymiyyah said, if you accepted to keep those attributes without making your own ta'wil, let the others be the same thing. So don't contradict yourself. Like, that's one thing. It seems that my computer got stuck. It is stuck. It seems it's stuck. So that's one thing. Just give me a second. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah reward you. I don't know why this happened. Today my laptop is Shi'i. It's not Sunni. It's stuck. Anyway. So this is very important. This is our attitude regarding Allah's names and attributes. And as I mentioned to you in generally, okay, if Allah would be saying to me, why didn't you, oh, this is what I used to say, do always regarding bid'ah. For example, I say, if I believe that there is no good bid'ah, would Allah be punishing me, blaming me at the Day of Judgment? If I believe that Allah is over His throne, as He said, and He is in As-Sama, as He said about Himself, will Allah be blaming me at the Day of Judgment, saying to me, why did you believe that? They can't give an answer to that, wallahi. They say, we may say that you made a mistake in believing this. I said, no, will Allah be blaming me? Is it a blaming issue or it's not a blaming issue? They can't give an answer to that. At-Tahawyah today, he said, وَلَا نُكَفِّرُ أَحَدًا مِنْ أَهْلِ الْقِبْلَةِ بِذَنْبٍ مَا لَمْ يَسْتَحِلَّهُ. We do not accuse someone, a Muslim, in kufr, disbelief, in a sin that he committed by saying he's kafir, unless he believes that it is halal to be done. Okay? Unless he believes that it's halal to be done. Let's give you a glimpse about the issue of takfir and kufr. Number one, kufr is the right of Allah. So there is no kafir except one whom Allah considers him to be kafir. It's not your right. And no Muslim who believes in Allah and the hereafter should be risking himself in taking a step of takfir against someone except by a clear evidence, just like the clarity of the sun when it's in the middle of the sky. Yani when you accuse someone, you have to be 100% sure that he is kafir, 100%. Otherwise, be careful. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever said to his brother, Ya kafir, فَقَدْ بَاءَ بِهَا أَحَدُهُمَا. In another narration, وَإِلَّا فَقَدْ حَارَتْ عَلَيْهِ. Whoever says to his brother, Ya kafir, so one of them must be then kafir. It can't be that the two both are kafir. One of them must be. If he's wrong, yani, if he's wrong in this, either the other one is kafir or this accusation of kufr will be returning on the accuser himself. It will return on him. Scholars, they had two opinions on that. Some said that he become kafir, really. Some others will be the sin, the iniquity of this accusation will be on him. And this is what our scholars, such Sheikh al-Albani, he chose this. حارت عليه, يعني the iniquity of that accusation will be returning on him. And that shows also that Ahlul Sunnah are so careful about the matter of takfir. Yani, if I say to someone, you are kafir, if he wants to follow his desire, he's going to say, oh, you are kafir also. But if someone said to me, I am kafir, even if he said it, I have to be extremely careful, not to follow my desire, not to be defending my own ego or my own honor. So I'll return to him what he accused me. No. Saying to someone kafir, it's horrible. Because the source about the Muslim who is apparently adil, you know the adil means he is fair Muslim, trustworthy Muslim, that his trustworthiness should not be removed or disconsidered except with what? With clear evidence. Some people, they're a bit maniac. They say, for example, this imam is imam of doubt. We don't know. We visited this country or city, for example, Ashton. Someone doesn't know me. They may say, oh, he is a doubtful matter to us, so we don't know. He might be mubtada'. He might be. So we don't. So as a matter of precaution, we don't pray behind him. This is false. Even he may be something, if you don't know, it's not your task to detect him before you pray behind him. No. So the source of every Muslim we see that he is, even if you may be wrong, he may be kafir and he's leading a prayer. For example, it's not your task and your prayer is accepted. Otherwise, we're going to be doubting one another easily. Even the matter of Osama bin Zayd, which I mentioned to you, when he killed someone who killed already many Muslims, and when Osama cornered him, the man shouted, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah." Then Osama killed him. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he said, "Oh Prophet, he killed many, he killed this, so and so," and so he started to count for him those who got killed by him. Then the Prophet kept saying to him, "What would you do to la ilaha illallah when it comes to the day of judgment?" Then he said, "Oh Prophet, he said it a cause of fear from the weapon." The Prophet ﷺ replied, Did you cut his chest? Did you open his chest? Did you cut his body and open your chest to see whether he said it a cause of fear from your weapon? أَفَلَا شَقَقْتَ عَنْ قَلْبِهِ حَتَّى تَعْلَمَ أَقَالَهَا أَمْ لَا? The narrator of this narration, he said, "And I and me too. I'm not going to point my sword on anyone until Abu al-Butayn will kill him." What does this mean? Abu al-Butayn means, this is the nickname of Osama bin Zayd, Abu al-Butayn. It seems he used to be a bit fatty or something. They call him Abu al-Butayn. That's in Sahih Muslim. He said, "I will never kill anyone unless I see Abu al-Butayn will be doing it. Then I'll do it." Because this was a good lesson to Osama bin Zayd. To the extent he said, "I wish at that time I wasn't Muslim, that I became Muslim after that." Because of this responsibility. Among people are those who are extremely cautious against riba, extremely cautious against unhalal meat, extremely cautious against zina, extremely cautious against sometimes they put some small materials of alcohol or pig in some food. It's not a whole pig food. No. What do you call these number 45? Huh? E-numbers, yes. E-numbers. They're so cautious against E-numbers. May Allah bless them. But when it comes to the matter of the flesh of the Muslims, mashallah, they slander them. Knowing not that they're eating their flesh already. They're not eating E-numbers. They're eating the E of their Muslim brothers. The Prophet ﷺ said, especially, I want those who avoid riba. Riba, haram. The Prophet said, "Arba riba." The most riba among all kinds of riba, istihlalu ardi imri'in muslim, is that you allow yourself to slander a Muslim brother. This is the greatest level of riba. In another narration, "Arba riba shatmul a'rad." That you devalue the honor of a Muslim. This is riba. You don't want riba? This is also riba. Put it in your agenda of avoiding what is riba. And also the Prophet ﷺ said, "Inna ar-rajula la yatakallamu bil kalimati min sakhatillah The man speaks the word of what causes Allah's anger, thinking not that it is a big issue. It's not a big issue. It will be causing him to be thrown in hell. And the period for him to reach hell is 70 years. 70 years to reach hell. تهوي به في النار 70 خريفا. It's horrible. What is the consequence of saying to someone that you're kafir? Number one, he is murtad, apostate. So what is the ruling of the apostasy in Islam? He's worse than Christians and Jews. Number two, his wife is unlawful. If he intercourses his wife, that becomes zina. He's murtad. You can eat from the food of Ahlul Kitab, people of the book, but him, no. The people of the book's food is better than his food. خلاص. Also, his children should not inherit him. طفية الآن. ترجع شغلة. That means he should not be in the graveyard of the Muslims. Go, put him beside a grave upon which there is a cross. Put him there, but never bring him close to the graveyard of the Muslims. He's murtad. I'm just giving you some consequences of accusing someone in disbelief. Also, that if they hear someone saying Rahimahullah, A'udhu Billah, you may also become kafir if you say here Rahimahullah. What Rahimahullah? He's murtad. So accusing someone in becoming disbeliever is horrible. And the Muslims should be aware of this, should be avoiding it. And we have mentioned before that major sins do not keep the person in hell, right? Major sins. Major sins. It doesn't oust the person from the body of Islam. He's still in, despite his major sin. Because we know there's something called kufr asghar, kufr akbar. Fisq asghar, fisq akbar. Dhulm akbar, dhulm asghar. Right? What else? Nifaq asghar, nifaq akbar. There's minor and major sin. Minor and major. Minor kufr, such as what? Sometimes denying Allah's favor on you. This is kufr, but minor. It doesn't oust you from Islam. Major kufr, it takes you out of Islam. Minor dhulm, to oppress someone. Major dhulm is to what? What? Yes, I heard it. Shirk. The evidence? Luqman said to his son, Ya bunayya la tushrik billah, inna shirka la dhulmun azim. Oh my son, do not set up partners with Allah. Make partner with Allah. For making partner with Allah is a great dhulm, oppression. A great oppression. Nifaq. Give me an example about the minor nifaq. No, this is shirk, but minor shirk. You reminded me to talk about the minor shirk. Okay. Minor nifaq, minor hypocrisy, like?
When you pray, like to be seen.
No. You repeated him. No. إذا حدث, if he speaks, he lies. If he gives promises, if he promises, he breaks his promise. If he's entrusted, he betray the trust. These are kinds of minor hypocrisy. Major hypocrisy is to hide disbelief and to pretend that you are a believer, like Abdullah bin Salul and the hypocrites in Medina. So there is minor and major. So the one who commits major sin, no, we don't oust him from Islam. No. And many people do not know these things, subhanAllah. So the fasiq is still from Ahlul Qibla, from among the people of Qibla. We do not deny, we do not remove totally his iman, but we do not describe him with a perfect iman at the same time, in a state between. As people of Ahl Sunnah, they say he is mu'min because of the iman he still has, and he is fasiq because of the fisq, the sin he committed. Let's give you an example. Allah in Surah Al-Baqarah, He said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِصَاصُ فِي الْقَتْلَى الْحُرُّ بِالْحُرِّ وَالْعَبْدُ بِالْعَبْدِ وَالْأُنْثَى بِالْأُنْثَى. Yani the ayah is talking about killing the killer. Qisas, punishment. Then Allah said, فَمَنْ عُفِيَ لَهُ مِنْ أَخِيهِ شَيْءٍ. But if, He's talking about the killer now. If he was given exemption of forgiveness by his brother, who's his brother here? The family of the dead one. So he described the family of the dead one that they are brothers of the killer. Even the killing does not oust the Muslim from Islam. But sometimes small, tiny words may cause the person to be extremely kafir. God has a son. It's very small word, you know. Very smoothly. I have uttered it smoothly. Oof. This is enough for you, sufficient to remain in hell, everlasting remaining. Na'udhu billahi min ash-shirk. And also, when Muslims fight against one another, this is kufr, right? Yes or no? He said no. Fighting one another, the Muslims when they fight one another, kufr or not? The Prophet ﷺ said, سِبَابُ الْمُسْلِمِ فُسُوقٌ وَقِتَالُهُ كُفْرٌ. Slandering a Muslim is fusuq, is a major sin. But his fighting with him is kufr. And kufr here means what? Denying the rights of brotherhood between you and your Muslim brother. The denial. Kufr ni'mah. This is not a kufr that ousts the person from Islam. Okay? What is the evidence? وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا. If two groups among the believers, subhanallah, and here the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say Muslims. He said, he's up to something. And you'll see. وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ اقْتَتَلُوا. And if two groups among the mu'mineen fought one another, among mu'mineen, subhanallah, the Quran is great. Now, subhanallah, yani I feel really happy, glad. Why Allah choose the word mu'mineen, not muslimin? Because Allah wants to refute those who may say, they may be called muslimin, but they're not mu'mineen anymore. No iman for them. No. فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَهُمَا. Then you should reconcile between them. Then after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ فَأَصْلِحُوا بَيْنَ أَخَوَيْكُمْ. Verily the believers are brothers, so reconcile between your brothers. So Allah described those mu'min who are fighting against one another. He described them that they are what? Believers and brothers in faith, in belief. وَإِن طَائِفَتَانِ مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. If two groups among the mu'mineen fought, then at the end he said, verily the believers are brothers, so reconcile between your brothers when they fight. It's very clear. There are many important rules in this. Number one, every action of kufr, we should not dare to accuse instantly the doer of kufr by being kafir. I love the reaction of the Prophet towards who? Hatib ibn Abi Balta'a. The reaction of the Prophet was so wise and should be a lesson to each one of us. How many brothers in the masjids? In the masjids. Oh, my brother, I love you. But something wrong happens between them. They argue, you are munafiq. Instantly, you are a hypocrite. I wrote on Twitter today, beautiful word, subhanallah. I said, you can see the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He performed janazah on the head of hypocrites, despite accusing his wife that she committed adultery. But after he performed it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbade him. Don't do that after that. Khalas. But the Prophet performed. Not only this, he took his own rida, qamis, and he covered Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul by it, so that may prevent him from the punishment of the grave. Tell me about that mercy. And when he opened Mecca, in which he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shackled or prevented Mecca from the people of Abraha, people of elephant, when they attacked Mecca. They wanted to take it to Yemen for economical purposes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevented them from that. وَسَلَّطَ عَلَيْهَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. Yani Allah used the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam militarily to come to Mecca as Fatih. And it had been done for 1 hour. And it is haram until the Day of Judgment, till the Houthis, who launched a missile against Mecca last week. So, when the Prophet entered Mecca, what did he say? It's a great chance. The first thing, brothers, before you look for any soldier in the army, if you are a commander, okay, and you defeated your enemy, and you entered the city, who's the first one you'll be looking for? The leader. Where was the leader, Abu Sufyan, who kept fighting the Prophet ﷺ and his army for a decade, almost 1 decade and a half? The Prophet said, whoever gets inside the house of Abu Sufyan, he is secured. Not only Abu Sufyan is secured, but even those who come to the house, to enter the house of Abu Sufyan, seeking to be saved from any kind of sword, anyone enter the house of Abu Sufyan, he is secured. Just compare between this and what people are doing, whether ISIS or the Rafidah. Both, they are criminals, they're killing. Rafidah, last week, they brought small child, they kept beating him up, and finally they put him under the tank, and they let the tank squash him. Compare, almost all the Muslims, whether those who pretend to be Muslims or those who are Muslims but they are ignorant, they both lack the akhlaq, the morality that we experience from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I was wondering, subhanallah, the head of hypocrisy who said, feed your dog and your dog is going to bite you. And that happened because some of the Muslims had a problem with the hypocrites who belonged to Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul. And Abdullah was angry and he said, they did it, huh? Yeah, it's just like, now they came to us, we sheltered the Muhajirin, now they dare now to fight us. It's just like the saying, feed your dog and your dog is going to bite you. And I can touch the smoothness of Rasulullah. At first, when he entered Medina, who was the king of Medina? There was no king, but there were some celebrations for selecting Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul to be the king of Medina. But suddenly, some bad news for him. Muhammad is on his way to Medina now. Who are you to be the king when the Prophet comes to Medina? He became nothing. So he was choked by the coming of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As the Prophet got into Medina, he said to Sa'd bin Ubadah, "Oh my brother Sa'd, let's go and visit Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul." He just wanted to visit him. He was about to be the king, but no more. As he passed by, and the Prophet was riding his own cattle, they passed by Abdullah ibn Ubay bin Salul. He was angry when he saw the Prophet. He covered his face like this and he said, "Stop dusting us. Keep your dust away from us." There's a narration that says that one of the companions said, "The farting of this cattle and its dust is better than you. It's better than you." So the Prophet came and he started to read Quran in front of Abdullah ibn Ubay bin Salul. So Abdullah ibn Ubay bin Salul said to him, "Ayyuha al-mar'." You know what's the meaning of Ayyuha al-mar'? How do you say it in English? Hey guy? No, insan is better. Mar', just like saying guy.
You person also.
Yeah. There's nothing better than what you said. But please, if you have something to say, okay, don't come to our assemblies here. Let people come to you, visit you, and then you admonish them, you approach them. Then, La ilaha illallah, Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, I think, he said, "No, O Rasulullah, please, let us have the honor by coming to our place and admonish us, for wallahi, we love that." And after he said it, a fight took place between those who follow Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul, and among them are layman people who are fanatically, tribally, they are following him. So a fight started to take place. So the Prophet had to leave. Then he said to Sa'd, "Oh Sa'd, have you heard what Abu al-Hubab said?" Abu al-Hubab is Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul. Sa'd said to him, "O Messenger of Allah, just ignore him, for he had choked by your coming. He was about to be granted to be the king over Medina, but he was choked by your coming." See, when people love life. So, let's get back to Hatib bin Balta'a. Oof, the reaction of Rasulullah. Look how I drifted you. Hatib bin Balta'a, he is from Mecca. He is in Mecca, but I don't know if he is originally, because he has no tribe, no family, except his own family there. So Hatib bin Balta'a, he wrote a message that Muhammad is on his way to you, giving them some information about his coming. The Prophet ﷺ didn't know about that from anyone but except by Allah. Suddenly he ordered Ali radiallahu anhu. There is a place called Khakh. Go to that place. You'll find a woman. She has a letter with her. Bring that letter and come. Ali radiallahu anhu went and he stopped that woman. He saw that woman there, as the Prophet mentioned. The Prophet is revealed by Allah. Look, today there's a great fear today. I just got the news today that the rotation of the sun and the galaxy is reversing. It's on its way to reverse oppositely. But it's becoming very speedy on that, more than expected. And we believe now that a time will reach, which is close. That's what they said, that the sun will be rising from the west, in the west. The Prophet said it to you 1,400 years ago, and you didn't believe it. So the Prophet ﷺ was given this from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ali was so confident. We wonder, we don't wonder why the Muslims have problems. They lack this confidence. Ali went to the woman and he said to her, "Give me the letter." She said, "What letter?" He said, "Give me the letter." She said, "What letter? I have no letter." He said, لَتُخْرِجِنَّ الْكِتَابِ أَوْ لَنَنْزِعَنَّ الثِّيَابِ. What does this mean? Either you bring the letter out, or we have to take the clothes out. When she heard that, she gave him the letter immediately. Immediately. He went back with the letter to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet checked the message. It was from Hatib ibn Balta'a. Who's Hatib ibn Balta'a? Hatib ibn Balta'a is Badri, from Badr, among those who fought in Badr. He's one of those whom Allah said to them, "O people of Badr, do whatever you want to do, for I have forgiven you already." What was the reaction of the Prophet ﷺ? Now compare that if those who caught Hatib ibn Balta'a were something like ISIS. Kill him! The Prophet said, "Ya Hatib, what is this?" He said, "Oh Rasulullah, don't rush me, don't rush on me." Now I reply to him, if the Prophet was rushing you, or rushing his reaction against you, you won't be able to say, "Don't rush me." You would have been dead already. We should be like this, very calm. Don't be rushy, mutahawwir, risking yourself. So the Prophet asked him, "What is this?" He said, "O Prophet of Allah, don't rush on me. Wallahi, I did not do it as reversing to kufr after Allah granted me Islam. La wallah. But I was pressed to do it. You people of Mecca who are in Medina, you people of Mecca, there is no one among you, but he has his own family, his own tribe that will be defending his family if something happened to them. Except me. I have no one to defend my family who are still there. And I know already that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether I do that or not, is going to grant you victory. You're victorious. No matter what, whether I send the message or not, you're victorious." What did the Prophet say? Sadaq. He said he's truthful. And the Prophet forgave him. But before that, you can see Umar, "O Messenger of Allah, let me behead this munafiq, for he became munafiq already." The Prophet said, "No. Don't you remember what Allah said to the people of Badr? That do whatever you want to do, for I have forgiven you." So this was a good point for him, for his favor. And the other good point is that I was pressed. I had to do it. And the third, I did not do it because of returning to kufr. No, la wallah. He made it clear. So this is a lesson for us, that if someone did something as an action of kufr, it will not let him be classified instantly as kafir. We should be careful. Unlike what we see people today, someone says something, it may be kufr, but immediately, kafart, kafir. Ya akhi, look what the people of Isa alayhi salam did. They said to Isa, "Can your Lord descend on us a table of food?" What did Isa say to them? Because they're asking, can your Lord do that? So if he was ISIS, astaghfirullah, He would have been saying, Kafartum, say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, I returned my wife to me. And some people do that. If they saw something kufr, they say, Kafart, say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Even if he said Ashhadu an la, they order him to say, I have returned my wife from, as a wife. Because once he becomes kafir, his wife will be divorced automatically. What did Isa say? You remember? قال اتقوا الله إن كنتم مؤمنين. He said, fear Allah if you are really believers. If you are believers, not really. He didn't say really. قالوا نريد. Look at the clarifications they gave. قالوا نريد أن نأكل منها. First we want to eat from it. وتطمئن قلوبنا, and our hearts will be reassured. ونعلم أن قد صدقتنا, and we'll be certain that you have spoken the truth to us. وَنَكُونَ عَلَيْهَا مِنَ الشَّاهِدِينَ, and you will be regarding this table, this miracle, witnesses at the day of judgment. So, this is very clear. They gave their excuse why they said that. Turning to someone who've been committing sins after sins, and his death is becoming present, and he is on bed of death. He said to his family, how do you see me? He said, you're our father, you're great, you are. He said, if I died, bring my body, burn it, and wait for a windy day, and throw my ashes into the wind. For wallahi, if Allah will ever be able to resurrect me, He'll be punishing me such punishment that He may not be punishing anyone ever. So that statement shows that he's as if he's doubting, limiting the power of Allah. So they did. His family did. And Allah ordered his ashes to return. And He asked him, after He resurrecting him, what caused you to do that? He said, fearing you, O Allah. Allah said, I forgave you. Forbearance. Forbearance is something beautiful in Islam. Even Isa himself, he saw a thief. This is in Sahih Bukhari. Isa said to him, you're stealing. Are you stealing? He said, no, la wallah. The man swore by Allah. Isa said, I believed you and I accused myself. We need forbearance. We need to understand Islam with its beauty and softness. We don't spread this to the people. People think that Islam is solid. We can't explain. We don't have the knowledge to express and to speak. We think that our life is limited only as to how we collect money, how we take care of our house and our family. They limitize their existence, and their mission is about how to live a good life. You are lived for others, not for yourself only. Because you are living not only for yourself but for the others. Because if you live only for yourself, who's going to give da'wah to the Buddhists, to the Hindus, to the... Those people are waiting. I'm afraid if you don't do, their control over us and their power over us is punishment from the one who is over them. It's because of our shortness of doing the job. We are a nation of mission. We should be giving da'wah. Similarly, the story of those newly converting Muslims, those who firstly, this is the first time now after they became Muslim in Mecca, they went out to fight for the sake of Allah. They're new Muslims. So they saw the kuffar hanging their swords on a so-called, allegedly, a blessed tree. the kuffar believe that if they hang their swords over that tree, the swords will be sharper, stronger. So those new Muslims, they said to the Prophet, "Oh Messenger of Allah, make for us a blessed tree, just like those people who have blessed tree." The Prophet said to them, "Allahu Akbar, it is the sunan, the ways. قلتم والذي نفسي بيده كما قال بنو إسرائيل لموسى اجعل لنا إلها كما لهم آلهة." You just said, absolutely, just like what the people of Israel said to Musa, make for us gods as those pagan people have gods. But the Prophet made their say similar to the saying of what? The Jews. Did he say you became kafir already? So the man can speak a word of kufr and he's still a believer despite what he said. So should we say that anyone speak a word of kufr, khalas, we leave it? No. To accuse him, there must be conditions and preventions. Conditions to prove his kufr, to confirm it, and preventions from him being kafir. Like what? Like ignorance. He may be ignorant. Maybe he didn't know. Some people may say a word of disbelief, knowing not that it is a word of disbelief. Such as Umar was saying, وَاللَّاتِ وَالْعُزَّى. He was swearing also in his newly period. He was swearing by something other than Allah. I can't remember now. But for sure, something other than Allah. Oh, sorry. Alhamdulillah, I got the narration. He was swearing by his father. Astaghfirullah. Never Umar swear by Allah. Astaghfirullah. He was swearing by his father. Then Umar said, I was swearing by my father. Then I heard someone saying from behind me, من حلف بغير الله فقد كفر أو أشرك. Whoever swore by other than Allah, he had fallen in kufr or shirk. Tell those who, if you remember when I talked about the hadith that I have no fear that you may fall in shirk. A lot of people today, they swear by their children. Isn't this shirk? The Prophet said it's shirk. So he said, I heard the Prophet saying this. And the Prophet said, whenever, whoever swear by someone other than Allah, let him say, La ilaha illallah, to correct himself by La ilaha illallah. So these are evidences that a person should not be accused of kufr unless we prove. For example, someone said a word of kufr. Even, let's say for example, Salman Rushdie. Let's say Salman Rushdie, he lives in India or in Pakistan. Let's say he's in Pakistan, okay? Even if he mentioned something, okay, there should be some. Now there are some clear kufr, like when he spoke about Aisha like this. But if someone said something, someone may say something he with good intention. He didn't know. So we should not be giving our judgment against him from the first time. Like one who came to the Prophet ﷺ, said, "O Messenger of Allah, allow me to fornicate." Allow me to fornicate. Companions were about to hit him. They wanted to beat him up. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Leave him." He said to him, "Come. Do you allow it to be done to your daughter?" He said, "No." "May Allah ransom my life for you." The Prophet said, "And people don't like it to be done to their daughters. Do you like it to be done to your sister?" He said, "No." "May Allah ransom me for you." The Prophet said, "And people don't like it to be done to their sisters. Do you like it to be done to your mother?" He said, "No." "May Allah ransom me for you." He said, "And people don't like it to be done to their own mothers." Ransom my life for you, that means the man is respecting, he's not hypocrite. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, he put his hand on the chest of that person and he said, "Oh Allah, forgive his sin. And hassin farjah, fortify his private part from haram. The man said, Wallahi, after the hand of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had touched my hand, there's nothing more hated to me than fornication. Khalas. It did its miracle. Allahu Akbar. It did its miracle. Khalas. Also, regarding the matter of committing major sins, which doesn't classify the person to be kafir. There's a man, and this is a funny story. There's a man called the son of Himar, or Himar. The narrator doubted. Himar. You know the meaning of Himar. I mean, even in Urdu, come on, Sheikh. Even in Urdu, I challenge if you don't use the word Himar in Urdu. Where are the Pakistani brothers? Most. Is it true? Do you use the word Himar in Urdu? My goodness, you got me, Sheikh, here. You got me. Okay, Himar means donkey. So his name was Himar. Whenever he entered Medina, he used to be living out of Medina, on the, what do you call it, border of Medina, suburb. Whenever he entered Medina, he must bring something to the Prophet. He can't come to the Prophet with empty-handed. Empty-handed. But he used to pass by a shop that sell fat and oil. He has no money. And always whenever he comes to that shop, he said, buy that. Give me, I'll pay you later. Every time. Whenever he comes to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, this is for you, O Prophet, a gift. So the Prophet laughs when he sees him. It seems that Allah revealed to him something that's going to happen in the future. Every time he comes, this is for you, O Prophet. Eventually, as he came to that shop as usual, and he wanted to get fat to the Prophet ﷺ, the owner of the shop said, hey, okay, come. Wallahi, this time you're not going to leave until you pay or I take you to the Prophet. He said, Wallahi, I have no money to pay you. He said, come to me. And he forced him to go with him to the Prophet. Then he was brought to the Prophet. And the man said, oh, Messenger of Allah, this man, he always take things from me and he never pay back. And now I brought him to you to see what you can do with him regarding this. The Prophet looked at him and laughed. And that man, Himar, said, oh, Prophet, you can pay him if you want. You can pay him. So the Prophet paid all the gifts that he was given. That shows also the softness of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This man, Himar, was brought to the Prophet after that many times, drinking. Drinking. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to the companions, punish him. Hit him. And he was beaten. There's nothing was defined exactly as to how much or how should be the punishment. But it's something that Uthman suggested afterwards. And Ali suggested. Ali suggested 80 lashes. Uthman 40. Ali said, if he drank, this punishment is for drinking. He may be also doing something else, like frauding, so he doubled it to 80. While the Prophet, he said, hit him. The narrator said, among us are those who used to hit him by the shoes, by the clothes, by the siwak, until one of them said, may Allah curse him. How many times he was brought to the Prophet ﷺ while drinking? The Prophet said, don't say that. Do not say that to your brother. For wallahi, as far as I know, that he loves Allah and His Messenger. He loves Allah and His Messenger, despite he fell in this problem. The last issue, I'm sorry to take you longer, and that's the last thing. Alhamdulillah, and I was able to continue by myself while my laptop is still frozen. Alhamdulillah. One last issue is that there's difference between general accusation and specifying your accusation of kufr. There's difference between both. For example, من حلف بغير الله فقد أشرك. Or there are many things. Whoever does this, he becomes kafir. Okay? This is a generalizing kufr. It's not it had not been applied specifically on a person. So there is personal accusation of kufr and general accusation of kufr. We call it in Arabic takfir mutlaq wa takfir muayyan. You should not be applying the kufr specially on a person unless you check the preventions from kufr and the conditions of kufr. Shurut wa mawani' at-takfir. This important, very, very important, and no one knows. Let me give you lastly an example about that. Al-Bukhari, he said in his Sahih as a title, he said, لعن الله شارب الخمر لعن الله السارق يسرق البيضة فتقطع يده. May the curse of Allah be upon the one who drinks khamr. May the curse of Allah be upon the one who steals even an egg, and his hand will be cut off for this. Bukhari said, this is in general, and the Prophet did not specify it on a person. The evidence also is, when someone said to that person, Himar, he said to him, may Allah curse you. The Prophet said, don't say that to your brother. Now there is a reason why. The Prophet said, for Wallahi, as I know about him, that he loves Allah and His Messenger. So we should differentiate between the kufr in general and specifying and applying that kufr on someone. When it becomes to a certain person, you have to be very careful. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you. Is there any question? حسين أنت ما قاطعتني أبدا اليوم. عندك شيء؟
Conquer Mecca, not open Mecca.
To conquer Mecca. No, we say نفتحها.
Yeah, but you keep saying
فتح.
open Mecca.
Because I'm using the word, the Arabic word, and you should know it. And it should be Latinized. فتح.
Let's conquer the world.
يا أخي, say it, conquer. Say it as much as you want. To me, I say open, and now I have to tell you that it means.
Open. Okay, you understood.
لا 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 ما خلاص هو له he has a point. جزاه الله خيرا. طيب, your question, brother?
At the beginning you said about interpretation, that some of what they say either in the things that they say is not interpretation but it's manipulation. Is it permissible to say sometimes, for example, when they say that the Prophet ﷺ is made in the nur of Allah, is it permissible to call them lies for this or not?
طبعا, for sure. No, you say you made a lie. Say that's a lie. Begin with this. And when you show them the evidence, and they insist after the clear plea evidence was shown to them, and they keep saying that, well, if you want to say they're liars, yes. But if you don't use it as still, there is still a way of communication between you and them, so there's no need to say it. Okay? Barakallahu feekum. And this is what I hate sometimes, there's something, like people come, like one guy came to me and they start to ask, are those kuffar or not? So I immediately changed the tone to him. I said, did you give them the knowledge they need or not? Before searching and investigating whether they became kafir or not. Did you give them the knowledge? This is very important. Because we are an ummah of da'wah. And I may know him that he is kafir. But I have to be patient until I make sure that he got. That's why Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, he said even to the Jahmiyyah, the Jahmiyyah, are the worst kind of manipulators of Allah's attributes. He said, if I say what you say, I'll be kafir. But I don't accuse you in kufr because I know that you are ignorant. Look at this beautiful. Ibn Taymiyyah is a great man ever, subhanallah al-azim. He's a great man. He said to those people, because he knows that what they're saying is kufr. He said, if I say what you say, because of my knowledge, I'll be kafir. But I don't accuse you in kufr because I know that you're ignorant. And you need to learn more and to know about the horrible statements you're making without knowledge. Okay? واضح كده إن شاء الله. That's enough. جزاكم الله خير. Do you have any question?
It's about interpretation. I know of some Sufi followers, and they are saying that the Holy Quran, it has an inner meaning and an outer meaning. The meaning which we read in translation is an outer meaning, but the big Sufis, they know the inner meaning.
Stupid. Number one, in Islam there's nothing called Sufism. Sufism, the word Sufi is not Arabic. Even the word itself. Number two, Sufis are much affected by Shi'ism. And they both deserve to be called Batinis. And I was reading horrible books of those people. And one sheikh was saying to his son, to his the disciple, student, he was saying to him, watch out that you may make love with your mother. He said, what? He said, yes, never, be careful. So the student was asking about it. They said, what did the sheikh say? The sheikh said, are you wondering about what I said? I meant that the life is your mother. So don't be engaging with life too much. And I meant by the life, when I use the word your mother, that means the life, because you love life. This is incorrect. And primarily, the source, the origin is that when you speak a word, you should not be saying that it means something inside. Okay? Because we deal with the apparent meaning of the word. Otherwise, we'll be in trouble in the way of speaking to one another. For example, where have you been? I've been at work, for example, and you're working in the kitchen. So you make people think that you went to the company where you work. So people be playing with these words. So there might be some meaning that we require to know. Yes, but we should not classify the word with external and internal. Otherwise, there will be a problem in the way of dealing with people. Like someone, for example, I say to someone, you are donkey. What? Donkey? No, I meant there's a bottom internal meaning to the word donkey. I mean that you work too much. You have a heavy kind of work. That's why I called you a donkey. I didn't mean it. No. I didn't mean it. Those people are really ignorant, and they have inherited the Batini way from the Shia. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. See you tomorrow, inshallah. We're going to continue the topic.